If you search AI automation on YouTube, you will find a lot of tutorials, step-by-step build. I built this in 20 minutes. This automation saved my business. What you will not find is someone telling you what the week actually looks like. The whole week, not just the build. That's what this video is about. I run an AI automation studio called Three Balconies. We build automation systems for small and medium scale businesses in the UK. And I want to be honest with you about something upfront. We're currently pre-revenue, no paying client yet, and I'm building everything from scratch. I'm telling you that because I think it matters. Most of the people making content in this space either have clients they can show you, or they're selling a course, or they're showing you a demo that was built specifically to look clean on camera. I'm not doing any of those things, so I can actually tell you what the week actually looks like when you're building an automation business from scratch. And I think that is useful than any other tutorial. Let me start with the gap, because there's a significant gap in what people imagine AI automation looks like and what it actually is. The version in people's head is that you sit down, you open Anytime, you build something clever in a few hours, and it runs in the background, the client is happy, and you move on. There's some truth in that. That part really does happen. But it's maybe about 30 minutes of the actual work, if that at all. The rest of the week, here's what fills it in. A lot of time goes into understanding the problem before you build anything. Reading through a client's existing process, working out where the friction actually is, not where the business owner think the friction is. Those two things are often very different. Then there's research. Tools change constantly. The workflow I would build in make.com 6 months ago might be built differently now because something in Anytime has been updated, or a new API has been released, or there's a lighter option that didn't exist before. Staying current is the real work. Then there's a communication and positioning layer, writing proposals, creating content that explains what automation is and why it matters to people who have never thought about it before, answering questions that people ask before they trust you with their operations. And there's also the administrative side of the business. None of all this is about building an automation. This is not about complaining. This is just me telling you what it is. And I'm sharing this because I've spoken to people who want to get into this space and they think the job is primarily technical. It's not. The technical part is the smallest part of it. So let me walk you through what a typical week actually looks like for me in this month, May 2026. Monday, I start working on content. Not because I like creating content, but because content is currently how Three Balconies gets in front of the people we want to work with. I write LinkedIn posts. I plan for my YouTube scripts or YouTube video script. I think about what I've done that week and what would be genuinely useful to share. That takes a chunk of the morning, usually about 2 to 3 hours by the time it is done properly. In the afternoon, I'm working on a workflow or a service document. A service document is a structured write-up of what a specific automation does and what it costs, what the implementation looks like, and what the client needs to have in place before we start. These are boring to make and incredibly useful to have. Tuesday and Wednesday tends to be the day where I'm actually in the tools, building something, testing it, breaking it, fixing it. Right now, I am building automations for Three Balconies on operations because we do not yet have clients' work to show. That means that things like content scheduling workflow, lead tracking process, and a reporting setup that pulls from multiple sources into one view. This build have dual purpose. They make my own business run better and they become the portfolio work that shows prospective clients what it is that we can do. Thursday is usually slower. I catch up on research. I read about what's changing in the tools that I use. I go through Anytime's release notes. I look at what's new in Cloud API. I read about how a specific integration has changed. And an hour or two of that a week is what is required to stay current. Friday, I review what got done that week. Not against some ambitious to-do list, but against the priorities that I have set at the start of the week. Most week, 3 or 4 things get done properly. The rest of it got moved. There's no glamour in it. That's it. There's a lot of building things that are not quite right and then fixing them. There's a lot of writing that take longer than it should. There's a lot of time doing things that seems that like they should be done quicker. Quick one, if this is hitting right, please subscribe. 1 video a week, all practical, no hype. Let's be specific about what I have actually built, because I think this is where things get useful. The first one is a LinkedIn content flow. I batch content in one session, usually on a Sunday or Monday. The draft goes into a structured document. From then, an automation handles the entire scheduling and posting. I'm not logging into LinkedIn every day to post manually. The workflow runs, the content goes out, I get a notification confirming that the content has gone out. The second is a basic lead tracking system. When someone interacts with Three Balconies content or fills in a form, they go into a tracker automatically. No manual copying from one place to another. The tracker flags anyone who has interacted with us more than once, because repeated engagement is a signal worth acting on. The third is something I built for Glue Farms, which is a poultry I co-own in Nigeria, and I manage it remotely from where I am right now, which is an interesting problem. I set up a reporting workflow that pulls information from the team on the ground and consolidates them into a weekly summary. I'm not reading through 15 messages just to understand what is going on. I'm reading one structured document that tells me what I need to know about the operations and the business. None of this is complicated. None of them require more than a few hours to build. But they save me real time every week, and they give me some example of what automation does in practice. When a prospective client asks me to what I can build or what we can build, I can show them this, I can show before and after, I can explain why each one was worth building and what it could have cost to keep doing things manually. That is much better a conversation than a generic pitch and just saying, oh, we can do this and this is what it's going to do for you. The hardest part of where I am right now is not the building. The building is fine. The building is actually the easy part. The hardest part is operating without external validation for an extended period of time. When you have a client, that means someone's telling you that your work is good. The invoice gets paid. That's another validation. That's a concrete result. You know that you're on the right track, but when you don't have clients yet, you're making a lot of decisions based on your own judgment with limited feedback. You're building things and posting content and having conversations and waiting for a signal that says this is working. The signal takes time to come, and in the meantime, you've got to stay consistent with that uncertainty. I'm not going to dress that up. It's uncomfortable. Some week I finish Friday and I have no clear evidence that any of the things I did moved anything forward. That is part of the difficult phase of building a business, and it is important that I name it directly. What keeps me grounded is pretty a simple test. At the end of the week, I ask myself, do I make something real? Did I talk to somebody who could potentially be a client? Did I put something useful into the world? If the answer to that, or at least two of it, is yes, then the week has been productive. It might not have been successful in the outcome sense, but it is successful in the process sense. And that's the distinction that keeps me going when you're building and the result has not yet come just yet. So that's what it actually looks like. Not a tutorial version, not the I made 6 figures in 3 months version, the real version, at least from where I am right now. The week is mostly about building, writing, and waiting. The automations I'm running are for my own business, not the clients. The wins are process focused and not revenue wins just yet. If you're thinking about getting into this space, or you are already building in it and wondering if your week looks too unglamorous to be on the right track, that is probably fine. This is what the LA face looks like for most people who are doing it honestly. If you want to see what we're building at Three Balconies, or your business could benefit from some of the workflows that we've built for ourselves, or you are looking to do something really custom and something that replicates your own processes, please check the description below for a link to fill the form, and we'll be in touch with you. And if this has been good for you, I'll see you again next Sunday.